Hi guys, welcome back to another short market review. Well, I'm going to at least try and make it short. What I cover here is pure speculation. Price action can change and vary. Price action is not always a fractal, and you know, market cycles are different and will form different price action. But I just want to go over what you can be looking at here to decide whether we have moved into this next cycle just yet, whether we are going to get a pullback, a market pullback, and if so, where can we go? Obviously BTC is trading at 35,450 right now, literally 90% off all-time highs, which is crazy to think about. But we have to start thinking now whether this is a place where we can local top and move lower before the cycle actually starts, or whether this is actually the next cycle starting. So looking at VWAP distribution bands, they can be very helpful to look at whether market can be moving into a trending environment, or just a ranging one, and also looking at whether where other values lie and why price may have moved there. So for example, I was always expecting BTC after we broke this 2022 value area high, I was always expecting BTC to test the 2021 value area low, right? One reason being because it was a pretty low volume node area. There was not much volume traded in this region. And also likely that once price is broken through this side of value, we're going to retest, the 2021 val. So the 2021 val is made up of the value area low from the 2021, and then what we do is we use it as a significant price point for price action in future movement, right? So this 2021 val for me is going to be a very significant level for BTC to overcome, because as you can see back in 2021 it consistently held, and even going into early 2022 it held as that sort of like a range low area. It is definitely a significant price point for BTC. And again, likely if we do start to accept above this 2021 val, prices are going to likely trend towards this 45k. I could be fairly confident in saying that if prices do accept above this 2021 val, above this 35,430, the cycle has likely started, in my opinion, and we would look to trade towards 45k, flip there, and 54k, right? We're trading back in our 2022 value, and our 2021 value, sorry, and with the 2021 value area high being naked, it's not actually been tested yet. But for me, this region here, this 2021 val, has just as much significance as this resistance we had back in from 2018 through to 2020 before we broke this level. There's not specifically a value here, but you can see how consistent, like how strong this price point was for BTC. And then once we did get that break and that strong move above this resistance, we started the next cycle. So basically this is sort of what I'm looking at, current price action. If I drew it in a red box, it'd be slightly clearer, but this area has just as much significance for me as this resistance did back in 2018 through to 2020. Like here, I think this, hence my short this morning, this is a level of reversal for BTC. And if I would have to say where we are, we would be, like I said, you can't specifically relate back to where we are compared to the last cycle, because every cycle is completely different. But I would say that we could look for a move towards this 2022 value area high, right? Which brings me on to my next point. If BTC does retest this 2022 value area high, this is sort of a must-hold level for bullish continuation, right? We have to hold this level for BTC to move higher. If BTC fails to hold around this area, then what we have is this strong deviation above this region, and likely we're going to trade back towards that 2022 VWAP at 23,600, which is highly possible. And from here is only a 34% move, which is not abnormal to see in cycles, right? To have these large Bitcoin flushes to the downside, right? This is not something we are abnormal to, right? And it's highly possible. So that's something to be wary of. For now, we're kind of just trading between these two values, and there's no clear direction given on price, right? We're trading between the 2021 val and the 2022 value area high. I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see this bracket for a bit. Obviously, break above here, we're looking for that continuation higher. Break below here, we're looking for that, our spot fills towards that 2022 VWAP, which has been my plan for a while. As I said, this level here is going to have just as much significance as we did back in this cycle. And if we do break here, you can expect the next cycle to most likely start and move higher. There's nothing to say that we have to get this full drop. Obviously, it would be lovely to get this and this big flush across the board. But there's nothing to say it does actually happen, right? But you can see back in the 2019 into 2020, how that 2019 value area high acted as support, right? We could be looking for something similar here. Sort of have these two tests of this 2022 value area high, come down, retest, and then we look to trade, higher into the next cycle. Having FOMO into this region is a big no-no for me. Simply just wait for this flip and look to buy spot, or we look to buy spot towards this 2022 value area high. There's no need to overcomplicate it here. This level is massive for BTC, right? This is a big level to overcome. Looking at ETH BTC, we are all looking for this ETH rotation, but given the circumstances of ETH BTC, it looks kind of shocking. Again, reminding me of a similar thing back from sort of 2019, where we had this breakdown from this trend on ETH BTC. We have this support area and the breakdown, again, support area and the breakdown, right? I could see ETH BTC dropping, towards this 0.4 region. First stop is going to be a sweep of this low. Look for a reaction here, right? Second stop is probably towards this 0.4 region, and then we move up. And that would probably be similar thing to here, come down, range into sort of March, and then we see that move higher. Excuse me. The last thing I wanted to cover on is just the discrepancy between BTC, BTCD, ETH BTC, and ETH USD. Seeing very similar signs again, right? As always, to the last cycle, what we see is ETH and ETH BTC top out, right? From there, ETH BTC completely trades lower. ETH BTC is starting to trade lower. ETH is starting to trade lower. ETH is starting to trade lower. Obviously, some difference here to here. There's some difference in price action. But, whilst ETH BTC is selling off, BTCD is rising. ETH BTC is selling off, BTC is rising. BTCD is rising, right? So what we could be looking at, right, is just like we had here, this break from this consolidation break from BTCD, and BTC is trending. Again, we had this break from consolidation. BTCD started trending, so does BTC. At some point, we could get this sell-off on BTCD back down towards our range highs, like we did here. And then that is when the cycle starts. Ideally towards that March and April time is where I'm looking at for the cycle to start. I've been talking about that for a while now. But hopefully this has just given you a clearer outlook on my high time frame view from the market, and to understand that this is a massive level for BTC. Above here, we look to trade higher, and we look to get spot towards this 2022 value area high. Fail to hold here, we're going towards that 2022 VWAP. Catch you in the next one.